So higher than the number. I'd like to welcome everybody. We have our pledge and moment of silence. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Rush County Schools' vision statement is achieve personal excellence through a wide range of educational challenges and opportunities. For public comment for board policy, we have Mr. Brian Hodson that would like to speak. Brian?
Podium, please.
I'd say we clearly need a bigger room.
State your name.
Brian Hodson.
Thank
Thank you. Thanks for the moment. So the topic that I want to visit with briefly is just school safety, and specifically uniformed officers in each facility. And I'm all for building design. I think that's the greatest idea in the world. I'm all for teachers carrying. I'm very comfortable with that. But there is no replacing a uniformed officer. Bob Bridges keeps the peace out in one of the busiest intersections in Rushville every single morning. If he were not there, there would be collisions. And the reason that we don't have collisions is we have someone who is instructed in the law, and by his presence, he is preemptive in making sure that we don't have accidents. We can have teachers that can carry. I'm all for it. I would love it. But the difference is that a uniformed officer is trained to know how to respond in a tense situation. Those of us who do not have that training would probably either A, underreact, or B, overreact. But these guys are probably going to react precisely as they're trained and on point. So I look around and I see that everybody here wants the same thing, which is for our kiddos to be safe. I've got 2 in high school. I've got 1 in elementary. The 2 in high school, I can promise you, will either help stop the threat or they will evade the threat. My 8-year-old is a sitting duck. That's all I got. Thanks.
Thank you.
My 2 older ones are feeding. I gotta go home.
Thank you. Let's tell us something good.
Alrighty, we're going to start off tonight with Arlington Elementary, Principal Sarah Maston.
Good evening. Kyler, you want to come up here? Our student of the month this month is Miss Kyler Cameron. You want to turn around so everybody can see your pretty face? Kyler has a great work ethic in her classroom. She always tries her best, and she always participates in class. She has a kind and respectful attitude and is always willing to help other people. She's willing to try new things and always do those things to their fullest potential. Kyler is a wonderful example of who we are at Arlington Elementary, and she definitely represents our Wildcat way. Congratulations, Kyler. Mrs. Stone. Our staff member of the month was nominated by multiple other staff members that she works with, and I think that definitely speaks to who she is as a teacher and as an individual. She's a very dedicated teacher who has always given a lot of her own time to make sure that her students are successful academically, socially, and emotionally. Amber has taught first grade for over 10 years now and has been able to build a scope and sequence for her lessons that reinforce students' developmental stages of learning. She has been a helpful mentor for several first-year teachers in our building. She has guided 3 individuals through their student teaching for course requirements. She has intervened when needed to help substitutes or others in the building. Amber has an optimistic personality, which has helped to keep a positive school culture. She has led extracurricular activities for students, including volleyball and student council. She has held the presidential position for our PTO and led the way with all that entails. She is always willing to give of her own time to help with anything that will improve AES for our students, staff, and parents. The safety of her class is a priority, as well as being very prepared for any assistants that come into her class. She does everything, and she does it all very well.
Milroy Elementary, Mrs. Wilson.
Good evening. So our student of the month is Charlotte Hanley. Charlotte, you want to come on up? Charlotte is a kindergartner at Milroy, and she does her personal best each day. She also, she demonstrates respect by showing kindness to others, and she uses her good manners in and out of the classroom. Charlotte's teacher, Mrs. Myers, says that she can count on Charlotte to be honest and trustworthy. Even when she makes a mistake, she owns up to it and apologizes. She has a heart of gold, and her integrity is appreciated. Watching Charlotte's engagement in learning is a delight. She's eager to learn and help out the teacher and her classmates any way she can. Mrs. Myers, her teacher, says, "What truly makes Charlotte an exceptional student is her contagious smile and positive attitude. Her sense of humor helps her overcome challenging situations." Congratulations, Charlotte. Our employee of the month is Mrs. Jennifer Myers. Mrs. Myers, Charlotte's teacher. Jennifer is an enthusiastic and caring educator. She was nominated by several of her colleagues. She collaborates with other professionals and seeks ways to refine her craft. Mrs. Myers is always on. She's a professional, she's engaged, and she's passionate about her work. Jennifer sets high expectations for the students in her classroom, both behaviorally and academically. She utilizes small groups to remediate and enrich skills and standards. Mrs. Myers has a love for learning, and it shows in her dedication to her students and the understanding of the role that she plays in their lives. Mrs. Myers has provided our staff with professional development on various topics. She works extremely hard, and we're very fortunate to have her part of our Milroy team. Congratulations.
RES West, Mrs. Julie Ennis.
Both of Gavin's teachers nominated him for Student of the Month, and I couldn't agree more. Gavin is a wonderful asset to the 4th grade community here at RES West. He is an extremely hard worker and doesn't give up when things get tough on his schoolwork. He has been a wonderful role model to his peers. He is always one of the first students to follow the rules and expectations. Gavin always uses his manners, and he is a great friend to his peers. He is a true leader and represents all the best qualities of all of our 4th graders and displays this on a daily basis. So congratulations, Gavin. Mr. Harpring. Mr. Harpring was nominated by multiple staff members, and I couldn't agree more. As you know, Eric has faced a lot of difficult changes, especially at the beginning of the semester when he was asked to leave his PE position for a classroom position in math and science, which he did have the expertise of math and science. Instead of being bitter and accentuating the negative things that could have come from the change, he has embraced it. Not only has he been faced this change with a growth mindset, but he has taken the initiative to take on more than just where he's going to fill his time or be a warm body. He has had the advantage of already having relationships with our fifth graders, but he took this to another level. This not only sets a great example for his students, but also other staff members, and shows change and growth can be positive, even if we do not always get to decide what and when those changes take place. So, congratulations.
RES East Elementary, Mrs. Tilley.
Carter Williams. Where's Carter? Carter Williams is our first grade student of the month. Carter is always so kind and helpful toward her classmates. She works to help keep everyone safe and on track with their schoolwork. She always tries to answer questions if they arise. She goes above and beyond in her own schoolwork. She does the right thing even when no one is watching. Lastly, she tries to include everyone in games and activities both in class and during recess. Carter is a wonderful example, and we are so proud to have her at RES East. Our staff member of the month is Mrs. Hannah Boyer. Hannah was nominated by several of her colleagues. She has a huge heart for kids, and she's always looking for ways to improve her instruction to better support her students. Mrs. Boyer is a great support to staff and students. She's caring and understanding. She's an active learner that works to improve her understanding and shares what she is learning with others. Often when we're celebrating student successes, she will take that in but always says, "What could I have done better?" She's very reflective in that manner. She's a team player, and she puts others first, even when that may make things harder for herself. I am so proud of her growth and dedication to our kids. She is one of a kind, and we are lucky to have her at RES East.
Benjamin Rush Middle School, Mr. Mark Scheidler.
Good evening. Our student of the month is Miss Olivia Laswell. She's been nominated many times, several times this past month, and what many of the people had to say about her is Olivia is a wonderful student and always willing to help staff and students. She's kind and considerate to her classmate, puts forth her best effort when she does anything, and she's always looking to get better. She's a natural leader with many friends who look up to her. She is always first to volunteer to help anyone and everyone in a thoughtful and caring way. Olivia is a great student, responsible, caring, giving, and she always is there to help, even if it's just a simple, kind word of encouragement. Olivia is absolutely the best. Truly, she is always interested in whatever we're doing in class. She is always on time with her assignments. She always gives her best effort, and she always shows good character. Olivia is well trusted in the building and exemplifies grace and excellence, and I would definitely have to agree with that. Olivia is an outstanding student, cheerleader, athlete, and most importantly, office page, which keeps me and our office staff in line, an all-around great person. She will be an asset to RCHS next year. Congratulations. And you get your section. All right. There she is. Our staff member of the month is Miss Becky Wicker. She is our school nurse, which is the Band-Aid that holds everything together. Nurse Wicker shows much compassion to our students and staff. She has excellent communication skills with our students when they are feeling their worst, both physically and mentally. Nurse Wicker spends many hours educating our diabetic students about their sugar issues in order to keep them in our classes as well. She always has a warm smile and a personality that anyone needing her attention would love. Her clinic is also a place where some of our most dysregulated students find the opportunity to reset, allowing them also to get back into the classrooms. Ms. Wicker's cooperation with students, staff members, and parents are so important to the positive atmosphere that we promote each day in our school. Becky demonstrates a selfless dedication of all BRMS and company. Thank you very much. And I'll have you
RCHS, Mr. Rob Hadley.
The RCHS May Student of the Month is Miss India Burnett. Unfortunately, Miss India Burnett is in a track meet tonight, and so she will not be able to be here. But I have some really kind things and great things to say about her. I nominate India Burnett for Student of the Month. I've gotten to know her a little through SRT. She is kind and considerate to all. She has a positive attitude. India assisted in our effort to win the Best Decorated Door. She is in many activities at RCHS, including being an office page. During her senior year, India has earned nothing lower than an A, and most of her grades have been A+. She ranks 30th in her class. It has been my privilege to have her in SRT, and I believe she is deserving of the honor of Student of the Month. And that's from Mr. Curtis Mock. And then, there's quite a bit here. I am honored to nominate one of my outstanding students, India Burnett. She has been enrolled in my visual arts class every semester during the previous 4 years. I have been a humble witness to India's character as she has grown, matured, and persevered through high school, COVID, and the unexpected loss of her father. India is an extraordinary young woman, student, peer, and community member that exudes all qualities of good citizenship, dependability, service, and leadership. Dependability. India is rock solid, trustworthy, and reliable. When India takes on an assigned task or a project, she's always timely, responsive, organized, accountable, and consistent. Her character, attitude, and work ethic are impeccable. Her teachers, coaches, leaders, and her peers would all attest to her strong sense of responsibility to self and others. Service. Whether in class or in the school environment or in the community service, or Girl Scouts, India kindly and actively seeks out opportunities to assist others in need, makes considerable commitments to provide help, and sustains these commitments over time. Leadership. India carries her identity and character in her heart, translating into acts of kindness, loyalty, faithfulness, and trustfulness. She exemplifies respect as a role model and motivates others to achieve great things in class, clubs, sports, color guard, winter guard, track, and community organizations. Please recognize this humble leader is much deserving of this award, Miss India Burnett. All right, Mrs. Hannah Lemons, right in front of me. All right. Yes, India is fantastic. So is Mrs. Lemons. Mrs. Lemons is such an asset to RCHS. Not only is she a great teacher, but she continues to elevate our theater program. She is currently preparing for and managing the Once Upon a Mattress production. Actually, it's now done. I know you're probably pretty excited about that. She has sacrificed a tremendous amount of her personal time. She has given up weekends, stayed late in the night repeatedly, and dedicated so much energy to make this production special. Additionally, she recently somehow found time to conduct a professional development session for the RCHS staff. On top of all this, she is a mother of 3 young children. What an amazing work ethic and attitude. That's from Mr. Mark Mendoza. And yes, also I'm proud that Mrs. Lemons, as our speech coach, had a student, Lena Adams, qualify for the national speech contest. First time in 23 years? Yes, so Mrs. Hannah Lemons is super deserving of this award, and I'm proud to give it to her. It's also my privilege tonight to recognize some special students who have worked super hard and have been honored to be in the National Technical Honor Society. So I know some of them could not be here tonight. They've told me, but I'm going to go ahead and we're going to call you up one at a time. And if you're not here, I'll just talk about you. Lena Adams, she told me she would not be able to be here, but she is a criminal justice major at Whitewater Career Center, also known as WCC. Brayton Grizel. Is Brayton here? No? No Brayton? He is an electricity major at WCC. How about Will Kuhn? Okay. Well, he is a diesel technology major. Chelsea Patterson. Yay, Chelsea. Come on up, Chelsea. Hello, Chelsea. So Chelsea is a National Technical Honor Society member. And you had your ceremony, maybe was it like 3 weeks ago, a month ago or so? Yes. And she is a criminal justice major. Congratulations, Chelsea. Just stay up here if you would. All right, Mr. Nicholas Hoeing, he reached out to me already. He had a previous engagement, but he is a welding technology major, and actually he was recognized here last month. So, Miss Chelsea Boyer. Chelsea is a health science major, and I know that what was your award you won last year at the Outstanding Student for the first year? Is that right? Okay, absolutely. So Chelsea is one of my favorites, a Key Club officer, and so I've known her since she was a little tiny girl, so it's really neat. Annabelle Gossett. I thought I saw her, yes. Belle. Hopefully you guys have seen her on the basketball court doing her thing, and of course some softball now. But Belle is a health science major at WCC. And Reagan Paget. Reagan is one of the nicest people that I know, a real sweetheart, and she is an education careers major at WCC. And last but not least, Mr. Tuff Tackett. So Tuff kind of has a close place to my heart. He's a wrestler. I'm a longtime former wrestler and coach and things. And how many? 103 wins, Tuff? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, he's humble, and I appreciate that. Tuff is an automotive collision technology student at WCC. So let's give these students who are now known to be in the National Technical Honor Society a round of applause.
Thank you, Mr. Hadley. We've got a great week, and teacher appreciation is coming up, but this week is National Principal Appreciation. At this time, I would like all my principals and assistant principals to please stand and be recognized publicly. Thank you for the work you do in leading your schools and our children and our staff. It's been an honor to work with you this year. Thank you. I'd like Mr. Harold Nye, who represents the Rush County USBC, to come to the podium. He has a presentation this evening.
Good evening, Mr. Jameson. I'm actually going to let my brother Gary do the speech on this one. Okay. We're here representing
representing the bowlers of Rush County USBC Association. We run 50-50 every week during the year, during the season from August through April to help with our city attorney and stuff. And several years ago, the association decided that we were going to take 3 to 4 weeks out of the year and raise money for charity. So when the board of directors got together this year to decide what charities we were doing, Opportunity School is one that was chosen. So we are here to present a check for $400 to you to go towards the Opportunity School.
At this time, I would like to publicly thank the hiring committees and school board members for their hard work and dedication in the selection of the next principals at RCHS in Benjamin Rush Middle School. It is with great pleasure for me to introduce the next principal at Rushville Consolidated High School, Mr. Warren Cook. And the next principal at Benjamin Rush Middle School, Mr. Jeremy Powers. They also brought their better halves, their lovely wives, and we're glad they're here with us. We are excited to welcome you to Rush County and look forward to your leadership and your dedication to our students and staff. At this time, I ask the school board to please accept my recommendation to approve Mr. Warren Cook and Mr. Jeremy Powers as our next principals.
So moved.
Second. Moved by Mrs. Jackman, seconded by Ron Lyman. Mr. Lyman, any discussion? All opposed? Or all for? Signify by saying aye. Opposed? Passed. Sorry.
Congratulations. Anything you want to say at the podium? The floor is yours. Yeah.
I'm a man of few words. I don't like to talk very much in public. My wife will tell you that's a lie. No, I'm very excited to come to Rushville. I've lived in Newcastle for 30 years. I've been to Rushville so many times. Come out to eat here and visited here quite a bit. Come to a lot of athletic events here, and I'm just excited to continue with the great things that have already been happening under the tenure of Mr. Hadley, and to just continue to race towards greatness. And just, hey, high school should be fun too. So we're going to have some fun, and I just really look forward to getting to know everybody in the school, the staff, the students, even the community, and I'm just ready to get going. So my wife, Teresa, that's the boss. Okay? So you'll see her around an awful lot, too. She's a great support. Okay? Thank you.
I guess I have to follow. Very excited for the opportunity to come to Benjamin Rush Middle School. Excited to take on the positive culture that we've been hearing about at Benjamin Rush, and just looking forward to that. Here, I'm not as into words as much as Warren is, but I'm excited. We're going to have just a fun time. I can't wait to get started. The better half, the boss, my wife Kim, is here. So just very excited. Cannot wait to get started to work with everybody here. Thank you.
And they got the memo. They're wearing red and black, so we're going to take our break because we want to get some pictures, and I know parents do, and then we'll get into our business part. Oh, sorry. Once again, board members' comments. I jumped the gun.
Angie?
Oh, I really don't know what to say today. I know.
Wow. Second time in your life.
I know. I did enjoy looking out because there are a lot of my former students here again, and I love that. The fun thing about being out and about now, because I don't teach here anymore, but my daughter does, is when we're out and about, used to, I would hear, Miss Coon, Miss Coon, Miss Coon, and everybody be waving at me. now they're saying, Miss Kuhn, Miss Kuhn, Miss Kuhn, and it's my daughter. So that's a fun transition to me to see a new generation of a teacher come through here. So good job, all you kids. Kuhn kids, I'm proud of you.
Congratulations to the students. Great job, especially you kindergartners. It's great to see you guys get the awards. That says a lot, starting out that young. Thank you, staff. Congratulations to you as well. Thank you, principals, for all you do and all your time. Welcome, Mr. Powers, Mr. Cook. It's great to have you. We hope you enjoy Rush County and the Rushville school system. We're looking forward to it. It's a great group of people. Thank you to the Bowlers Association for the donation. That's very kind. And I'd just like to extend thank you for everybody that's made it through the year. We're kind of on the last leg here for the students. Good job. The technical students, it's great to have you guys here. You don't get enough recognition on that most of the time. So it's really, Mr. Hadley, I appreciate you doing that. And Tough, you've grown a lot.
Thought the same thing.
But he's still wrestling in the same weight class. I'd like to thank everyone that is retiring. I've been retired for a while, and I've told people that I recommend it to anybody. I hope you have had as much fun as I have. And thank you for everything you've done, and I hope things go as well for you as they have the last few years. I'd like to welcome the new people. Been a good run, and congratulations to all the employees and students of the month that made it possible for Tell Me Something Good today.
You said a lot, so I don't know how much is left to say. You know, whenever you get a new leader in administration, especially as a principal, you kind of wonder about how things are going to go as a teacher. And out of the 30 some odd years of teaching, that was always my concern: how is things going to change when you get new leadership? I've had the privilege to be on the committee when we interviewed Mr. Powers, and you're the first person in all the years that I interviewed principals that I was so excited you almost made me want to come back to teaching. So I think that our at least from the middle schoolers, the teachers there, I think you're going to be very happy with who we have hired, and I see great things that are going to happen with that building.
Mark and Rob, thank you for your time here. You see my kids come and go, so it's kind of sad to see you go. It brings up good memories. Welcome to Mr. Cook, welcome Mr. Powers. I hope you do what you said you were going to do in the interview, so I'm waiting to see. So, but thank you for taking the position.
I want to thank all the staff from top to bottom and the police departments in recent events that happened. They handled things very quickly, swiftly, professionally. A lot of hours that most people didn't see or know that went on going into all the investigating and the testing that had to change, and you know, it really messed up schedules for a lot, but they rolled with the punches and got it done like normal. So, and just I miss Mrs. Kuhn's countdown.
I don't get a break anymore.
I know, you don't get the break anymore.
No.
So, but yeah, there's a few that have the countdown going on, but yeah, thank you to all for everything you did during that kind of trying time there. Now,
Okay.
oh, no, Jim. Your turn, go, sorry. He was trying to break earlier. Now I'm trying to.
I'd also like to reiterate everybody that helped a couple weeks ago, everything you did, staff, law enforcement, administrators, job well done. Welcome the new principals, Mr. Cook, Mr. Powers. Thank you for everything you did, Mr. Hadley, Mr. Scheidler. kids that receive these awards, the WCC. I think it's great, so thank you. And we'll take a 5-minute break for pictures and then resume.
Shutting the door.
say, just recommend. No, never enough time. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, we'll resume our meeting.
Mr. President, first item under 7A, consider the need for a project and financing of maintenance and improvement projects. I, the RES project, renovations and improvements of the Rushville Elementary School, and renovations of improvements to school facilities, site improvements, including athletics, purchases of equipment, and technology, in parentheses, the maintenance improvement project.
Okay. Attorneys for the Rush County Elementary School Buildings Corporation has submitted to the school corporation a proposed form of lease agreement, the lease, which proposed form of lease was examined by all of the members of the board. Any discussion from the board members on the proposed form lease?
Need a motion?
Not yet, he's still asking for it.
Okay. I will ask for a motion to approve the need for the project and proposed form of lease agreement.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mrs. Kuhn, seconded by Mr. Banks, that we accept this. Any discussion?
A point of information for the board, this will encompass approving your Exhibit A that's entitled Resolution Determining the Need for Projects. And then you have Exhibit B, a resolution approving form of.
And that's just for clarification, where the building corporation we're leasing back.
Correct.
Between the school board of trustees and the school building corporation.
Yes, and this is purely a finance vehicle used throughout the state of Indiana to accomplish building projects. So these are two very standardized documents that you're approving.
Do you need a separate motion or just one motion to take care of both?
You can do it either way. You've got, if any board member wants to separate and have further discussion about one or the other, you can. Or you can have a motion.
I would suggest we just do it in one motion, sir.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded, so any other discussion? If not, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next on the agenda is out-of-state and overnight field trips. First one and the only one for this month is the RCHS FFA to State FFA Convention Leadership Conference at Purdue University, West Lafayette, Indiana, June 19th through June 22nd. Under 4, donations. This will take a little while, and this is a great problem to have. We have $1,000 from Coing Equipment to the RCHS FFA account. $100 from an anonymous donor to the RCHS Food Pantry. $27.75 from Coca-Cola given to Benjamin Rush Middle School. $400 from the PSI Milroy Sorority to the Milroy Elementary Art Fund. Library Fund, Music Fund, and Speech Fund, $100 each. 5, $200 from the Rush County Federation of Teachers for academic awards. 6, $100 from the Rush County Federation of Teachers for RES West and RES East academic awards. 7, $100 for the Rush County Federation of Teachers for Milroy Elementary academic awards. 8, $100 from the Rush County Federation of Teachers for RES East academic awards. $950 from the ARC of Rushville to the RCHS Varsity Scholars account. $50 from anonymous donor to the RCHS Class of 2025 account. $279.78 from the Rush County Community Foundation to the RCHS Cafeteria account. $600 from the Indiana Humanities to the RCHS Library account. $250 from the Malson family to the RCHS Lion Pride account. $250 from Farm Credit Bureau to the RCHS FFA account. $40 from the Todd family to the RCHS Library account. $895 from the Bowles and N&S Cleaning to the RCHS Varsity Scholars account. Excuse me. $30 from the Phi Chapter Kappa to the RCHS account. $150 from the Kiwanis Club to the RCHS Key Club account. And $50 from the Pi Chapter Kappa to the RCHS Drama account. I seek the board's approval of the April minutes, claims and payroll, personnel report, and donations as stated.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Sickbert, Dr. Sickbert, seconded by Mrs. Kuhn, that we accept all this. One thing, I need to abstain from D
So abstain from the personnel report.
on the personnel report, so if we want to hold that one out and come back to the personnel report, is that
Yes.
fine with everybody?
I'll move that we vote on the personnel report separately from consent items.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded, we'll vote on the personnel report separately. Okay, on all the other, any discussion? If not, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. On the personnel report,
I move to approve the personnel report as presented. Second.
been moved by Mrs. Jackman, seconded by Mrs. Kuhn. Personnel report. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And one abstain.
Item C on the agenda is memorandum of understanding with the American Red Cross. I seek the board's approval to enter into a MOU between the American Red Cross and Rush County Schools as a staging point in case of any emergency here in Rush County. The packet was approved, was in your board packet, the actual MOU.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, moved by Mrs. Jackman, seconded by Mr. Sickbert, that would, on a understanding with the Red Cross. Any discussion?
If they would use this, do they pay for cleanup? It wasn't real clear in there. It said,
Yes, I've talked to our emergency management coordinator, and yes, they are in charge of cleaning. You can also back charge them for any electrical use or stuff like that as well. So that's, I know that wasn't super clear in the MOU, but I checked with our EMA coordinator, and they said, yes, that is a standing agreement.
okay.
Any other discussion? If not, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I request the authority to advertise and receive bids and quotes for petroleum products, dairy, and cafeteria items for the 2023-2024 school year. It is this normal time of year to go out to bid and accept those, and we'll award those in June or July. So I seek the board's approval to put these items out for bid.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Mr. Banks, seconded by Mrs. Jackman, that we do the advertising for the petroleum, dairy, and cafeteria items. Any discussion?
Jim, will you go through the consortium, like the commercial?
For cafeteria, yes, because that's the lowest bid item, and same with dairy. So those two are pretty standard. We get the lowest bid.
Okay, all right.
The petroleum, diesel fuel, and gas is one we really put out to bid.
Okay.
How do we do that? Do you just advertise? I mean, last year we struggled to get anybody. I mean, are the local people contacted, or is it just advertised, or?
Yes, taking over for Dr. Vance, we publicly put it in a couple of newspapers, and I don't know who he contacted, and that's why I reached out. We got the one bid, and so we rebid it again, and I reached out to several, 2 or 3 local companies to try to get them to come, 1 or 2.
Typically, we've not had many local.
Just because they don't have an interest in doing it, or?
Or if they have, they've been a lot higher than the others.
I would love to see great competition, especially as fuel prices keep going up, and that's the ultimate goal.
And do we have enough storage over there for a tanker load, or how do we?
It's what, 550 gallons, Dr. Keeley? I think that's the normal. It's 550 gallons is what we get as a load.
Okay.
But the tank is bigger than that.
No, I think that's the maximum load. I could be wrong. I'll be more than happy to look into what the maximum load could be.
You don't know, Mr. Keeley?
I do not.
Okay.
I know we get the full tank, which I would imagine that what's underground, even when we inspected and looked at it, I really don't think it belongs underground.
I would guess in the past, when they put that in, it would actually hold a semi-load, I would hope.
Tanker 7,500.
I would guess 7 to 7, probably 7, I would guess.
I will find that answer and have it for you next board meeting, if not sooner.
Okay. Where I voted on it. No, we didn't. Okay, we'll vote on that. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Also, this time of year, it is time for textbook adoption. We have a recommendation for math, science, health, Indiana studies, and 6th grade civics course. I want to thank Ms. Flaff and the Textbook Adoption Committee for their hard work in selecting these proper textbooks that we need to adopt for our students. With the recent changes in legislation, we are looking over the law and how that will impact Rush County schools once we receive the final numbers from the State Department of Education. I seek your approval of the textbook adoption that's presented in your board packet.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Lyman, seconded by Mr. Banks, that we accept the textbook adoption. Any discussion?
I noticed on the one science textbook, the biology one, they're using the same textbook that they did before, so are they gonna have to buy a newer edition, or will the older edition still be one that they can use?
I've got my opinion, but Ms. Flaff, go ahead.
It's an updated edition. With biology, we're looking at Travis and the MyRealize platform, so we're also moving a couple of the other high school courses to that platform, so it's just an updated edition of that.
And do we actually buy hard copy textbooks, or do we do online, or a combination?
The science department really feels strongly about having hard copy textbooks in their classroom, so we are gonna have that for next year in the classroom.
So just a classroom set then?
It'll be a classroom set, and then all the students have access to the textbook digitally on their Chromebooks.
Any other discussion? Okay, not. Proceed to vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
It is necessary to officially approve the memorandum of understanding with Head Start. so that we can offer this program. This is an annual agenda item and is recommended for your approval. I seek the board's approval to accept the annual MOU agreement that was in your packet with Head Start in Rush County Schools. Head Start will be held at Milroy Elementary again next year, if your approval.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mrs. Jackman, second by Mrs. Coon, that we accept the Head Start agreement. Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item G is consider approval of cybersecurity insurance. I seek the board's approval to accept a $2 million coverage effective May 3rd, 2023, with a company named Chubb as our provider, as outlined in your board packet. This helps us because currently we do not have cybersecurity insurance, and anybody can ransom our data. So this will help protect us with a $2 million policy.
What are most schools, are they going 2 million, are they going 1 million, or what are they doing?
Most of it's 2 million because they will keep asking. I know of several businesses that have been hit for about 3 to 5 million. So 2 million keeps it in a financial status that we can, take on. You get more than that, the insurance money goes up. So
So if we would get held hostage in this situation, and they want $2 million, does this company give them the 2 million? Or do we pay the 2 million and then we get it back? How does that work?
just like any other policy, they will, as long as you keep paying your premium, they will pay up to $2 million. If it goes up above that, then it is on the school corporation.
I would think the 2 million would be plenty when we're not dealing with medical records or financial records or personal data. Something a little bit smaller than other people need is probably appropriate for us.
Yes.
And what does this cost per year?
We got
17,000, I think, wasn't it?
I can't remember. There's too many numbers.
$1 million coverage was just 14,000, so for an extra $3,000, you don't have coverage. There's a lot of other neat things in that policy. It does investigations, they'll employ a law firm, they'll employ a forensic person to find out if we had other things like data breaches or somebody shuts down our internet by sending bogus data packages. They do the investigation, and that insurance actually pays for all that investigation. So it's not just money that is paid for ransom. It's a lot more areas that covers. So they're a really good cyber company too.
This might be done, but what's the downside of not having this kind of coverage? Risk of what?
Risk of being,
What are they taking from us? What can they hold us hostage for? This is out of my realm. I don't know what that kind of stuff is.
Even though we still do write checks, a lot of stuff is transactions through the internet, like a debit card, pay out stuff online. And this leaves us to where they could hold, where we can't pay our bills, and they will hold you hostage until you pay their, and then if they'll release your information. So a lot of banking transactions, like Mr. Lyman said, schools aren't a huge target, but they have targeted them because what do schools do? We pay, because we need that information back. So.
I also have an example. The previous school corporation, we were attacked by something called bogus data packages that were sent through our internet pipeline. And when it did that, all of our filters said, whoa, stop the internet. And so we were 2 weeks from finals at the high school, and our internet was completely shut down. 2 days, 1 day into it and figured out a way how to divert this data coming into the organization. They put something on there called scrubbers. It's really weird, but they did all the groundwork for us, all of it. And within the 4th day, we were up and running, and we were able to have finals the next week. Having no internet at all, being held hostage with no internet at all at the school, can be disaster. You know, it's almost like we might as well go home because we can't do our work. And so that is one of the most important parts, is just keeping the organization running. And then if you ask the teacher in the classroom, can they be as effective if they have 0 internet every single day? The way we teach today, I just don't think we can. This is just kind of a whole team approach to cybersecurity and to help us keep up and running. So it's a really good positive policy. And I don't think there's very many schools in the state. Mrs. Matthews, I don't know of any that really don't have it.
Yeah, it's becoming a standard risk management piece or tool that you have. And to not do that is very, very dangerous these days.
It's sad.
Yeah, it is. Sad world that way.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Dr. Seckert, seconded by Mr. Banks. Any other discussion? Not, we'll vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item H is consider approval of handbook changes. I would like to table the Benjamin Rush Middle School and RCHS handbooks until June for your approval, to provide the opportunity for our 2 new principals who are here with us tonight so that they can look through those, since they are going to be the ones that will be enacting those policies. But I do seek the board's approval for the handbook changes to the RES, Milroy, and Arlington for the 2023-2024 school year.
I had a few questions about the 40-page document that's like school system-wide. I read through it kind of quickly. Just like in one case, it says, when necessary to close school, parents will be notified through the radio station. Not too many listen to the radio station anymore. And I know that's not how, because then later on it says, they can sign up for, but whether it be email, automated message, maybe update that instead of just radio station. And I know kindergarten roundup, we still have it like online, but I know most schools have gone back to in-person. I'd like to see us go back to in-person roundup, to offer that again. I've had several parents, that they missed that. They, were sad that we didn't offer that as an option, that it was all online, because especially parents, if it's their new first-time parents, first student, that can be a little overwhelming how to do that, and appreciate the opportunity to be able to come in and do that again. Like I said, I know most have gone back to the in-person ones from that, and then there was one place, and I'll have to find it. I should have put little post-it notes on that, where it references communicable diseases, but is that, it says see policy on communicable disease, but where is the policy on communicable disease? Because it's under communicable disease.
Gotcha. That should be posted by state law.
And then just to make sure that like our anti-bullying and all that aligns with the new behavior matrices that we have at the elementary school. And even to kind of see that overflow into like what the bus behavior policies expectations are, whether that's shared with them to kind of coordinate, so the bus drivers know what those expectations are that we're doing now and following that. So there's more continuity. And then one place it has Food from cafeteria cannot be taken into hallways and/or classrooms and must remain in the cafeteria. But I know a lot, especially at the elementary, they have students, that's a prize, they can go have lunch with the teacher or things like that. So that was just something I had a question about, because I know I see a lot of kids carrying it to the classrooms because that's a reward that they got, which I'm perfectly fine with, but I think that's it that I saw.
Anybody else have any?
Any more discussion?
And will the new principals have time to review this as well?
That's just the elementary.
Oh, this is just okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna have time to
Okay, I see.
review that.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. President, I make a motion that we table this till June to make these necessary changes so that the board can approve it all together. You all right with that? Okay. We'll just table that till the June board meeting. I do have two items under other. I seek the board's approval to award Globe Asphalt and Paving the bid to resurface the needed pavements at RCHS, RES, and the bus barn this summer. Bids went out to two other contractors over the week ago. We need to approve this bid so that we can get on their summer schedule. Globe Asphalt and Paving was the company that did our resurfacing project last year. I asked the board to accept the Globe Asphalt and Paving bid.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mrs. Jackson, second by Mr. Diamond, that we move forward with the Globe asphalting. Any discussion? If not, we'll vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Second item is at the September board meeting, you approved a $750 bonus for 6 months for a bus driver who has been, a new bus driver who's been with us for 6 months. Tabitha Gentry was hired as a bus driver first and has filled in on bus routes when needed, but was promoted to transportation coordinator. She has made her 6-month commitment, and I'd like you to honor her bonus, and I seek your approval.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mrs. Kuhn, seconded by Mr. Banks, that we accept the $750 bonus for Tabitha Gentry. Any discussion? Was there any other new bus drivers?
Yes, those went out to other bus drivers who had hit their 6-month mark at the last board meeting.
Okay. All right. Okay, we'll vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Couple of important dates coming up. The last student day is May 19th. Teacher's record day is May 22nd. May 24th is when summer school starts, and that runs through June 29th. And summer school, because of the construction projects at RCHS and Benjamin Rush Middle School, that will be over at RES, and that will run the cafeteria out of there.
How's that gonna work with them moving classrooms and stuff? What rooms?
We've already been working on this, and we've set the classrooms that we need aside. They will get done after summer school. May 29th is Memorial Day. Central office will be closed. June 4th is graduation at Henshaw Field at 8 p.m. June 6th is our regular board meeting. 7 o'clock here at Central Office. And June 23rd is the Jason Kuhn Golf Memorial Outing. Next thing I'd like to move on to is our Director's Report. Dr. Tom Keeley, Director of Operations.
Thank you, Mr. Jameson. As you know, there's a lot of construction going on, and things are pacing along quite well. We got our windows this week, and so if you drive by the Laughlin Center, you'll see big stacks of windows, and they're putting them in right now. So they're pre-tinted. Really wasn't aware of that, but they look pretty sharp. They look pretty neat from the outside. Heavy construction right now. They're doing the steel and the roof deck on top of Memorial Gym in that foyer area. And so that is some serious stuff going on right now. So we have the data cables not connected, and it's just a lot of heavy construction. So they're being really careful and being safety minded over there. We've had multiple conversations with vendors, either considering ways to think about a new roof at RES, because unfortunately with the rain the last few days, that's been horrible over at RES, and I apologize. We can't stop the water from coming in, so that is a much needed project for the future for sure. In transportation, we did get our 10 cameras. Actually, there's 40 cameras. 10 buses will get new cameras in the next 2 weeks. And so it is a cloud solution instead of a hard drive to pull out of the bus, so that we can see it right from our offices and review behavior or any kind of vandalism, something like that. Over spring break, I did want to let you know we got an entire water softener system installed in the district, and that was because our hot water was softened, but our cold water was not. And then the cold water went into the water heaters unsoftened and then came out unsoftened. And so a lot of our mechanicals in the food service and kitchens deteriorate. Our ice machines don't make it over a year. And so now we have complete soft water, and that will make our mechanicals, our HVAC, everything so much better moving forward. So that was a project under the general obligation bond that we paid for. So it was good. Outside of that, maintenance and custodial are working really hard. Grounds is a little behind, but that's because of the weather and the rain. So they're doing a nice job on the ball field. So I do want to commend them. They've done a wonderful job keeping baseball and softball going when we do have dry days. So that's operations.
Thank you, Dr. Keeley. Mrs. Melissa Leap, Director of Finance.
Good evening. First of all, before I get to the finance, I'll get to the technology piece. This is our year to refresh our 3 through 6th grade Chromebooks. So we're in the process. We have 2 vendors already have gotten quotes, so we're going through those and making sure we have what we need, and making sure that we have something that is the same brand and the same functionalities as our current Chromebooks. We've been very happy with the ones we've gotten the last couple of times, and it also helps our building technicians to have a device that they're familiar with, easier to swap out, easier to use at various grade levels and things like that. So, and the kids are obviously familiar with it, which they don't have as much of an issue with. But anyway, that is one of the things we're working on right now. You have the cash flow report there, and a couple of things I wanted to point out. If you look at the education, which is the first page, you will see, again, we are still above our projected cash balance, which is great. We're in great shape in terms of our education, so that's always good to see, especially coming off a time when, March we had 3 pay, in April we pay part of our coaches, things like that. So it's always good to see that we're still ahead on that. Operations, if you remember last month, I brought up that we were a little bit, behind where we needed to be. We have caught up some of that this month, fortunately, so we are not as behind where we were. We're still going to keep an eye on that. Last month, which we had planned on doing, we did the transfer from education operations, but we already had that in here to do, so that's, it's it's not what saved us or anything like that. So we had that planned. So I think we're still in pretty good shape. We just need to keep an eye on it, especially the next few months, where we are, to see if maybe we'll have to do an extra transfer. But at this time, we're only $60,000 off of where we said we'd be. And I think, just being careful in our expenditures, I think we can probably make majority of that up. Another thing I wanted to point out again, that is helping us is we, if you look at, again, I pointed this out last month with our interest. You can see the gain in that with that Trust Indiana. They have gone up to as much as 4.9% on our interest. Another benefit of this is I hadn't heard from our bank in a year, and all of a sudden they contact me because they see that money going out and they know where it's going, and they are working on our rates on our other bank accounts as well. So obviously rates are better right now, and that's great, but they are really working hard to keep our business and keep our money, other money in the banks. So we should be able to see an increase in that as well. So that's been good. I had a meeting with one of our bank reps about that. So that's good to see. So again, we'll keep an eye on this, but we're closer than we were last month in operations. And then debt service, there's no activity this month with debt service. So that's what I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Leap. Mrs. Kim Nicholson, Director of Special Services.
Good evening. It is a big week for us here in Rush County. Friday is the day. It is our Unified Sports and Young Champions event at Benjamin Rush at the football field. So I would like to invite all of you to attend if you can. We are going to start our parade at 8:45 in the morning behind RES East, and then as they take the parade up to the middle school, then we'll have opening ceremonies. Mr. Jameson will say a few words, I'll say a few words, and then obviously we will get the event going. This is a great way for our students to represent their schools. It's a great way to encourage acceptance and inclusion within our district. And so we are really looking forward to it. The weather looked a little bit better at the beginning of the week. Now they're saying maybe some showers. So we're hoping we get the event in, and if not, then we'll move to the rain date the following Friday. As far as events, our kiddos will be participating in a 25-meter dash, 25-meter hurdles. No, I will not be helping with that event. This is not a hurdler by any stretch of the means. Ring toss, long jump, and a bucket toss. And so our kids are looking forward to it. They always have a good time. You can get a temporary tattoo while you're there, live it up, everything you wanted to do and more. So again, we're looking forward to Friday. And then I want to take this opportunity to acknowledge Amy Matthews, our legal counsel. In a very litigious world, and special ed is a big part of that, on any given day, at any given moment. And so it is so reassuring to have her within an email conversation to say, nope, you're on the right track, or oops, maybe you better think of it this way. And so I appreciate all that she's done. I appreciate everything I've learned from her. She's an incredible person. Well, thank you. Thank you. And I get to listen to her tomorrow, and so I'm excited about that. We've got another law seminar, and again, they are a class act all the way around, whether it's Amy, whether it's Chandler. We've been very, very fortunate, and I attribute that to the education that she's provided for us as administrators. So you're not here much, and so I wanted to say thank you very much. So that's all I have.
Are you having success in filling your spots in the teaching for?
Well, I have a smidge of good news. I think I'm going to get a part-time speech therapist for Arlington. We've got a part-time speech therapist, thanks to Angie's staff, Lisa's sister, who is at Milroy. That will alleviate a little bit of our load. As far as teaching positions, it's going to be tough. Our teachers that have covered and done double duty have done an amazing job. They have to be exhausted taking on additional students onto their caseloads. And we've made it, and we've made it work, and we've been legal all the way and compliant, but I do worry.
Good
I
luck
said.
with that.
Pardon me?
Good luck with that in the next.
Yeah, thanks. Like I said, I'm just gonna be positive and hope for the best. Some of our elementary teachers, may give consideration that we're interviewing to, one of the state-offered ways to get certified. So we'll see what happens. But I'm
There are
excited
good
about
grants
another
right now
speech
for
event.
that. There are really good grants right now for that.
Yes, and now our special ed administrators organization allows you to do it within 1 year free of charge through the asset program. We have one teacher finishing that now, so we'll see what we get. Why wouldn't you want to come here? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Nicholson. Mrs. Elizabeth Flatt, Curriculum Coordinator.
Hi, good evening. You have a paper in your stack there, just kind of giving some updates from my end. I just wanted to give an update on the Portrait of a Graduate. So in January, we had sent a survey asking for what are the characteristics that the community, teachers, students see and want to have in a Rush County graduate. So then our committee met and we looked at all of those characteristics to try and come up with a cohesive kind of catchphrase, a sentence, and our committee decided on Rush County schools develop respectful, critical thinking scholars. And through this 3E grant, we have to also think, how are we showing these characteristics preschool all the way up through 12th grade? So what I will be doing is sending out a survey to teachers, to the staff, to see what are experiences, what are things that we're already doing in our classroom that are helping with these different things. Having our students be respectful, critical thinking, and looking at that scholarship. And we also just put together tentative definitions for those words just to try and help hone that in and narrow those experiences. In this survey, I'll also be asking if the teachers, if the staff have revisions for these definitions, because we're not saying this is exactly what it is, we just wanted a starting point. So we're just looking for how can we make this our own? What can we do to help that? So, and you can see I gave a little bit more information there, and then the definitions. And then testing, we are wrapping up iLearn and IM and iLearn Biology. And we also have, once school is out, we are going to have iRead remediation, and that's 8 days after school is out for the students who did not pass iRead as third graders. So we will also have that. I forgot to add that under the testing point. That's all.
Thank you, Ms. Flatt.
Thank you. Thanks.
And last but not least, Mrs. Schroeder, Grant Coordinator.
Thank you. As far as the cafeteria goes, I've met with our staff that will be running our summer lunch program. It starts the day that summer school begins and then goes through the third week in July. We have been in contact with the Boys and Girls Club because a lot of the kids from the clubs walk over for lunch. And so I appreciate those ladies that will be working that program this summer. Thanks to Dr. Keeley, he kind of disappeared on me. There you are. You were over here. Thanks to Dr. Keeley, the RCHS cafeteria will be renovated this summer. They're getting all new furniture, making it more modern. And Tony Schultz has taken on an art project with all the students at RCHS as well as the staff. And they have all decorated these 6-inch square tiles. And Mrs. Linda Fudge will be coming in August and putting them on the walls and making them some mosaics around the cafeteria. So I'm excited to see that. Mrs. Schultz has sent out some examples of what those mosaics will look like, and I think the kids will be real excited to see them, and it'll add a little personalization to our cafeteria, so we're excited about that. This time of year, we start applying for our grants for next year, which is what's called a pre-application, and I really want to thank all our administrators because they need to send me a lot of information about what they are doing in their schools, and it's exciting for me just to see and hear all the different things that are going on in our buildings. So we're getting ready to start that process. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Schroeder. I'd like to thank Mrs. Matthews for coming and being with us tonight.
Anything else?
Anything else anybody has?
Got nothing.
Move for adjournment.
I second. And third.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, Mr. President.